Hello, my people. This is I know them day again. Yeah. Let's look at the installation of Search X3. I'm sure many people will be smiling right now, seeing the opportunity to watch installation of X3. Um, it's not a difficult process at all. It's just that you need to stick to the rules of the game. There are prerequisites that has been established which you need to strictly adhere to. All things being equal, you have a very smooth and a clean running of X3 installation. So let me show you my face once again. Let me show you my face. Yeah. So this is me again. I'm here once again. So now, what are the things that is actually required for us to have a smooth running of the installation? I'm going to be talking about the rules. I'm going to be talking about the prerequisites. Then it's going to be in stages, so I don't model everything up in one video. Okay, I have a VM which I'm going to be using, a virtual machine which I'm going to be using. It's a Windows Server 2012, which is part of the requirement. It has to be a Windows Server. So now, Windows Server, I'm not going to be talking about how to create a user. I expect that you should know how to create a user, but you might not know how to do some roles or some activities on the system. So I'll try as much as possible to go into those processes so that you can see, you can have a glimpse of what it should look like. And at the end of the day, we should be installing maybe version 8 of Sage X3. Yeah, what is required? You need two accounts. You need one of the accounts to serve as services. There are some services attached to your X3, and you need an account that can do that. And note that that account, you shouldn't be logging onto the system with that particular account. It should be running at the background of your installation. Then you also need another account, which is your normal administrator account that has the full rights. The service account is also an administrator account, but there are some roles we are going to exclude from that user. Now, the second user is going to be a maintenance account. So what that is supposed to do is to do your installation, do your maintenance, your modification, and so many other things that an administrator need to do as a full right on the system. So now, let's go. Let's go into how do we create a user. I'm not going to be creating a user like I said earlier. I'm not going to teach you how to create a user. The two users are actually created on this particular VM before making this video. I also looked at it and said, okay, just let me make the video once and for all. Now, oh, sorry. Yeah. So now let me use my shortcut, computer management. Let me expand this VM so that I don't. I hope I won't lose anything. Okay, computer management. Then I have this. It's taking time. Okay, now local users. You create your users from here. I have created two users, which is Sage admin and Sage services. This is supposed to run the maintenance, to be the maintenance account, while this is supposed to be the service account. It runs the services needed for the Sage X3 installation. Now, or the Sage X3 application. Okay, now we did this so that you can see what has been defined. Then also, okay, you need to also state that the password never expires, especially for the services. So you state, then also make it attach it to the group, administrators group, attach it to the administrators group. Same thing goes to your services. So attach it to administrator group. Then um, we need to define the roles actually needed for these services, for these accounts. So to define the roles, okay, run the G E edit dot MSC. Okay, that's just a shortcut command. So now at this point, you need to specify the rules of this account. For your maintenance account, you must have a full right. So you might not be giving it any rules again because it is an administrator. So I expect your administrator to have the full right. So excluding your services, which you just need to, okay, now clicking on, after getting into the local group policy editor, then I choose Windows settings, security settings, then local settings, local policies, the user rights assignment. Now, your user rights assignment is on this level. Now, you need to specify those. Okay, sorry, let me remove this video so I will have a bigger screen. Okay. Now, there are some policies that you need to. First is act as part of the operating system. So all you just need to do is just double click on it, add the users to it, which is just Sage the services that we need there. So then you can click on OK, apply, then OK when done. So the same thing, you go to deny, you come down to deny logon as a service. Sorry, deny logon locally. So you click on deny logon locally so that you can restrict this person from logging into um, the the system, so that nobody makes mistake of logging into the system. So deny logon as a service, not locally. Sorry, I need to clarify that. Okay, sorry. Yeah, so the deny logon locally, have your deny logon locally. This has also been attached to your state services. Then also check for log on, okay, log on as a service, because you need to log on to the system as a service. You understand? So it's a service that is logging on to the system, not a user interference. It is it is the service that is actually logging onto it. So you need to state it that it has to log on like that. Then what else? Then also log on as a batch job, which is this. Log on as a batch job. So this also, as we stated. Yeah. Then I need to check something again. Still under deny. Okay. So deny logon locally. That is done. Then deny logon through remote desktop services. This also has to be on. So all things being equal, you are done with your user creation and um, rights assignments. Then we are good to go. Then also, the first thing is you also need to enable some rules on the system, which is your IIS. You need to configure your IIS. So you also need to do that. Configure your IIS, install .NET framework. Then what other thing do you need regarding that? I think those are just the things that you actually need concerning the system. Then you install your SQL, your Microsoft SQL, where I use 2014. There's a video that has been done regarding that on how to install your SQL based on the needs or the requirements of Sage X3. It is well spelled out there that it has to be an instance name. The collation method has to be Latin 1 underscore general underscore B. Then what else? I think then you are good to start your installation. You are good to start your installation. So we have um, our X3 project shortcuts here. So I'm going to tell you about the folders. There are some folders here. The SQL folder, the seed folder, the installation folder itself, the license. You need a license to be able to install on this system. Then there are free components. Now, installation is the installation of the application itself is divided into three parts. Free components, we have the free components, we have the classic core components, then we have the new components. So for the free components, this does not come with your CD or your DVD. Doesn't come with that. So what comes with it is just this. Now inside this, I have my people also here, my Sage X3 people. But what we are looking at is just the EM. So now look at this. This is version 12. This version 12, product 15. But I'm not going to be installing this version 12 yet because I'm trying to troubleshoot something. So I doing my training based on a training folder that is here. So this is version 8, version 8. Sorry. Um, I don't have my installation here. I don't have my installation here. So So what I will do is I'll make another video that shows the beginning of the installation. But let me show you. Let me use this as an example. I'm not going to do the tray. I'm not going to use the installation on this version like I said earlier. So we have the free component and we have the classic core component. Then we also have the new component. The free components, what are the things that are there? So which means that you need Apache, you need to install Apache, you need to install uh, Notepad Plus, you need to install your Notepad Plus, you need to install your Java. So you can get that inside your free component. So you won't see anything regarding that here. So now this is the installation kit. Now this has for the classical components. For the classical components, you have your ADX admin. You have your ADX admin. So you need to install this first. Then you also need to install your Sage X3 SQL server. Then you also need to install the X3 application. X3 application. Then you need to install your X3 process server. Then you need to process server is the same thing as your runtime. Then you also need to install your X3 printer server. Your X3 printer server. Yeah. So it's good you get these things right first. What I'll do is I'll bring another video that has version 8. Now you might ask me why version 8, why not 12? Because 12 is the latest. Yep. 12 was installed earlier, but I had an issue at point of installing the Syracuse. So the Syracuse um, gave me a very tough time. I've been trying to see where the issue is coming from. So that is why I actually want to do the aspect of the PU8 because I know PU8 has been installed several times and there was no issue. So I want to actually get where that issue is coming out from. So now I've talked about those things you are going to install, which I'm going to go through again. So I said you need to install your ADX admin, save X3 ADX admin. You need to install your SQL server, save X3 SQL server. Then you need to install the X3 application. X3 application. Then you need to install the X3 process server, which is the same thing as a runtime. Then you need to install your X3 printer server. So those are the classic core components. Now the new component. Then after the installation, you need to install. You need to also install your console, your X3 console manager. This is also very important. This is where you do the configuration of those things you have actually installed earlier. Then after configuring it, then you then move to the new component, which is what's it called? Elasticsearch. Then MongoDB, then Syracuse. You need to install this. So if you do your installation, then we are good. But before you install all this, I said you need to install your SQL, which is Microsoft SQL, not Save X3 SQL. Your management SQL, your Microsoft SQL. 2014 on the system before you start your installation. So watch out for the next video that is showing you how to install, or the process, guiding you, giving you the process of how to install your Sage X3 products version 8. So watch out for that. So I remain Ainodun Deolayinka. Ainodun Deolayinka is a senior business software consultant at Active Services Limited. And I said earlier that Active Services Limited is a business partner to Sage Pastel. We implement business applications um, 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 from small scale business to the large scale business. What we look at is providing solution to your need. So you can always contact us if you have any challenge. You don't need to actually be our customer. What we do is provide that solution to you. You have a question you want to ask, you need us to put you through on it. Let's discuss. So you can contact us on our numbers or our website, which is www.activeservicesltd.com. Then also check the link on this page for other ways which you can contact me directly. So thank you very much. I know the online guy. God bless.